Buckle up, everyone, because today we are taking a deep dive into Tesla stock.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you, things are getting interesting.
Sounds like it.
You've sent over some seriously fascinating sources on
I
this.
tried to pick some good ones for you.
And it looks like Tesla is in the fast lane, but maybe pushing the limits just a tad too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a race car driver pushing their car right to the edge.
You know, that's a great analogy.
Is it?
Because right now, Tesla is trading at a pretty hefty $389.22,
Wow.
which is way above its 20-day moving average of $343.04.
So that's a pretty significant jump.
Yeah, that kind of surge usually points to a super bullish market sentiment.
Bullish. So that means...
It means everyone's buying in and they're expecting the price to just keep on soaring, you know?
So they think it's going to keep going up.
Yeah.
But isn't that a little too hot to handle? Like, how long can a stock really keep climbing at that pace before things start to cool down?
Well, it's a valid concern. And this is where the relative strength index comes in, or as it's more commonly known, RSI.
RSI, okay.
Yeah, you can think of RSI as a kind of fuel gauge for a stock's momentum.
Okay, so if RSI is like a fuel gauge, what's Tesla's reading looking like right now?
Well, Tesla's RSI is currently at 73.70,
Okay.
which puts it firmly in overbought territory.
Overbought.
Overbought, yeah. Anything over 70 is usually a sign that the stock might be due for a pullback.
Tesla's...
You know, like a car running low on fuel.
Yeah.
It can't keep going full speed forever.
Right, it's going to have to slow down eventually.
Exactly.
But Tesla's kind of known for breaking the rules.
Right. That's
Maybe it can just keep defying gravity. What makes this stock so different?
Well, one of the key things about Tesla is its volatility.
Okay.
It has a beta of 2.295,
Right.
which basically means it's a high-thrill roller coaster ride.
Ooh, I like roller coasters.
When the market moves 1%, Tesla tends to move more than twice that much, either up or down.
Wow, okay, so big risk, big potential reward.
Yeah.
Definitely not for the faint of heart,
Not at all.
but I can see how that would be exciting for some investors.
Oh, absolutely.
Speaking of risks and rewards, you also flag some interesting activity in the options market,
Yeah.
especially with those put options expiring on December 13th and January 3rd.
Right. Those put options,
Yeah.
those give you the right to sell a stock at a specific price by a certain date.
So it's like an insurance policy.
It's like having an insurance policy, yeah, in case the price drops.
Okay, so if someone's feeling a little nervous about Tesla's high price right now, they might buy a put option as a way to protect themselves.
Exactly. And for those who are willing to take on a little more risk selling, those put options can actually be a way to generate income.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more about these specific put options that you highlighted.
All right. Well, there are two key strike prices to consider.
Okay.
One is $385,
Right.
expiring on December 13th. Selling those puts could potentially give you an annualized return of 184.87%.
Whoa, okay, that's a pretty impressive return.
It is.
But I'm guessing there's a catch.
Well, there's always a catch, right?
Right, of course.
That particular trade is pretty aggressive, meaning it comes with higher risk.
Makes sense.
If the stock drops below $375.25 by December 13th,
Huh?
you could end up losing money.
Okay.
So high reward, high risk.
Got it. What about the other strike price you mentioned?
The other one is $375 expiring on January 3rd.
Okay.
This one's a bit more conservative with a potential annualized return of 64.95%.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, and the break-even point is lower at $357.65, so there's a bit more cushion.
Okay, that makes sense. Lower return, but potentially less risky.
Right.
But even with these potential returns, it's still not a guaranteed win, right?
Absolutely not. You always have to factor in the probability of profit.
Probability of profit, okay.
Yeah, which gives you an idea of how likely the trade is to actually be profitable.
So what are the probabilities looking like for these Tesla put options?
Okay, so for the December 13th $385 puts,
Huh?
the probability of profit is 0.55 or a 55% chance of success.
Okay.
And for the January 3rd $375 puts, it's slightly higher at 0.58 or 58%.
So even though these options trades seem like they have the potential for big returns,
Yeah.
it's important to remember that it's not a sure thing.
Right.
There's still a decent chance of things going the other way.
Absolutely. And that's why understanding your own personal risk tolerance is absolutely crucial before jumping into any kind of investment, especially options trading.
That is a great point. So we've talked about Tesla's high price.
Yes.
its volatility and the potential opportunities in the options market.
Uh-huh.
But let's step back for a second and look at the bigger picture. What's driving all this excitement around Tesla in the first place?
Right.
It's more than just a car company, right?
You hit the nail on the head. Tesla is really at the forefront of a major shift in the automotive industry, the transition to electric vehicles.
Yeah.
They've captured the imagination of investors who see them as a leader in this new era of transportation.
Right. It's like they're not just selling cars, they're selling a vision of the future.
Exactly. And that vision is reflected in their massive $1.25 trillion market capitalization.
Wow.
It shows just how much faith investors have in Tesla's long-term potential.
So even though the stock price might be on a bit of a roller coaster ride right now,
Yeah,
there's a lot of substance behind the hype.
absolutely. But as with any investment, it's essential to do your own research, weigh the risks, and make informed decisions based on your own individual goals and risk tolerance.
Well said. Okay, let's take a moment to digest all of this information. When we come back, we'll continue our deep dive into Tesla, exploring the potential risks and rewards of this fascinating company and what might lie ahead in the electric vehicle race.
Sounds good. You know, thinking about Tesla's future, it's crucial to remember that the electric vehicle market is getting increasingly crowded.
Oh, yeah.
Tesla isn't the only player in the game anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. It's like Tesla was this lone pioneer just forging ahead, but now everyone else is catching up, trying to get a piece of the action.
Right.
So what are some of the big challenges Tesla might face as this competition heats up?
Well, we've already talked about how Tesla's stock is a bit overheated right now, with that high RSI potentially signaling a pullback.
Yeah.
And with its high beta, any market turbulence could make for a bumpy ride for investors.
Right, like holding on tight during a sudden drop on that roller coaster.
Exactly.
So volatility is definitely a factor. What about the competition itself? Who are some of the major players Tesla's up against?
Well, you've got the traditional auto giants like Ford, GM, and Volkswagen.
Right, those big names.
Yeah, they're all pouring resources into their electric vehicle divisions.
Yeah.
And they have decades of experience in manufacturing and distribution.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then you have these new ambitious startups like Rivian and Lucid Motors.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
Yeah, making a splash in the luxury EV market.
So it's a diverse field with established players and those scrappy newcomers,
It is.
all vying for a piece of the EV pie.
That's right.
In this increasingly crowded market, what do you think gives Tesla an edge?
Well, Tesla has a few key strengths working in its favor.
Okay, like what?
First, they've built a really powerful brand
Yeah.
with a very devoted following.
True.
Tesla owners tend to be super enthusiastic about their cars, and they often become unofficial brand ambassadors,
Yeah.
spreading the word and generating excitement.
Yeah, it's almost like a cult following. But people don't just buy a Tesla, they buy into a whole lifestyle.
Exactly.
Like a community.
And on top of that, Tesla has a significant head start in technology and infrastructure.
Yeah, that's true.
They've been focused on EVs for longer than most, and they've established a massive network of supercharger stations,
Right.
which is a big deal for EV adoption.
Yeah, it is. Because I know that range anxiety,
Yes.
that worrying about running out of charge, is a major concern for a lot of people who are thinking about buying an electric car.
It is.
And having access to a reliable charging network can really ease those worries.
For sure, it can, absolutely. And then there's the Elon Musk factor.
Right.
He's a visionary leader, and his personality and drive are a huge part of Tesla's brand appeal.
He's definitely a unique CEO,
Yeah.
and he certainly knows how to generate buzz,
Uh-huh.
keep Tesla in the headlines.
That's for sure.
But even with these advantages, are there any specific risk factors investors should be aware of?
Well, one risk is that Tesla's growth might not actually meet those incredibly high expectations that the market has set.
Yeah.
If they stumble even slightly, the stock could take a hit.
Yeah, makes sense.
So the price might be reflecting a lot of future success that hasn't quite materialized yet.
Right, like they're banking on all these things happening, but we don't know for sure if they will.
Exactly. And then there's the question of production and scaling.
Yeah.
Can Tesla ramp up production quickly enough to meet the growing demand and compete with those larger established automakers?
Yeah, those are all important points to consider. So for those investors who are still bullish on Tesla's long-term prospects, what are some strategies they might want to think about to navigate these risks?
Well, when it comes to options trading, one approach is to Be patient
Okay.
and wait for that RSI to come down from its overbought level. A dip below 70 might signal a better entry point.
So it's like waiting for that roller coaster to come back down to a more reasonable height before hopping on.
Exactly. Another strategy is to watch for those technical support levels.
Okay.
The 20-day moving average, which is currently around $343.04, could act as a potential support level. If the stock price drops toward that level, it might be a good opportunity for those who are still bullish on Tesla to buy in.
Okay, so keep an eye on those technical indicators. What about position sizing? How much of their portfolio should people allocate to a volatile stock like Tesla?
That's where understanding your personal risk tolerance comes in.
Yeah.
Given Tesla's high beta, it's generally wise to keep your position size relatively small, especially if you're new to investing or have a lower appetite for risk.
Right. It's all about finding that sweet spot between potential gains and potential losses. You don't want to bet the whole farm on a single stock, no matter how promising it might seem.
You got it. And diversifying across different expiration dates is another risk management strategy for options trading.
Okay.
Instead of putting all your eggs in one basket with options expiring on a single date,
Yeah.
think about spreading it out over multiple expirations.
Okay, so diversify your options trades just like you diversify your overall portfolio smart thinking.
Exactly.
Now let's zoom out a little further and talk about Tesla's place in the broader energy transition.
Okay.
It's not just about electric vehicles, is it?
Right. Tesla's also involved in solar energy and energy storage with their solar panels and Powerwall batteries. They're aiming to be a major player in the shift towards renewable energy.
So they're not just aiming to change how we drive, they're trying to change how we power our world.
Exactly. And that's a huge part of what makes them such a fascinating company to follow.
Okay, before we shift gears to wrap things up, is there anything else you think our listeners should keep in mind when it comes to Tesla and the electric vehicle revolution in general?
I think it's important to remember that the electric vehicle industry is still evolving rapidly.
Yeah.
There will be unforeseen challenges, technological advancements, and regulatory changes that could impact Tesla's trajectory.
Yeah, it's like we're watching this race unfold in real time,
Uh-huh.
and it's anyone's guess who's going to cross the finish line first.
Exactly, and that uncertainty is part of what makes it so exciting. For anyone interested in this space, staying informed, doing your research, and making informed decisions based on your own personal financial goals and risk tolerance is key.
Great advice. Okay, let's wrap up our deep dive into Tesla. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the current stock price and market trends to the broader story of Tesla's role in this electric vehicle revolution.
It's been a great discussion.
As we wrap up this Tesla deep dive, I'm just really struck by how much this company seems to defy traditional market analysis.
Yeah.
It's like they're playing a different game.
It's true. Tesla operates in this space where hype and innovation just kind of collide.
Yeah.
And it makes it really hard to predict what's going to happen next, even when you're looking at all those standard metrics.
Right. It's like we've been talking about fuel gauges and roller coasters.
Uh-huh.
But maybe Tesla's more like a rocket ship,
Ooh.
just blasting off into uncharted territory.
I like that analogy
Yeah.
because with Tesla, you're not just evaluating a company's financials,
Right.
you're evaluating like a vision of the future.
And that makes it so much more interesting. You sent over some fascinating insights about Tesla's market capitalization.
Yeah.
A whopping $1.25 trillion.
It's massive.
It's a huge vote of confidence from investors.
Absolutely. That kind of market cap tells us that investors believe Tesla is going to be a major player in the long run,
Okay.
not just a flash in the pan.
But it's not just about electric vehicles, as we touched on this earlier.
Yeah.
But Tesla's ambitions go way beyond just cars.
Right.
They're involved in solar energy, battery technology, even AI.
Exactly. And that's one of the key things to remember about Tesla. They're not just competing in the automotive market.
Right.
They're trying to reshape the entire energy landscape.
It's like they're playing this multidimensional chess game,
Mm-hmm.
making moves that might not make sense right now, but could have a huge impact down the line.
Yeah, and that's what makes following Tesla so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's a company that's constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Whether they succeed in achieving all of their ambitions remains to be seen, but they're undoubtedly shaking things up.
So as we wrap up, I want to come back to you, the listener. We've explored a lot of information about Tesla today.
We have.
The stock's current performance, those intriguing options, trades the competitive landscape, and the company's grand vision for the future.
A lot to think about.
And hopefully this deep dive has given you a more well-rounded understanding of what makes Tesla such a compelling,
Yeah.
and at times perplexing company.
Definitely.
We always encourage you to do your own research
Of course.
and make investment decisions that align with your individual goals and risk tolerance.
Always important.
But more importantly, we hope this conversation has just sparked your curiosity and left you with some questions to ponder.
Questions like,
Yeah, like how will Tesla's pursuit of self-driving technology ultimately play out?
good question.
Will they be able to crack the code and revolutionize transportation as we know it?
It's a possibility.
Or how will their energy storage solutions impact the way we power our homes and businesses in the future?
Another good one.
These are questions that go way beyond just stock prices and market trends.
They do.
They touch on some of the most fundamental aspects of our lives.
It's true, and ultimately, that's what makes following Tesla so captivating.
Yeah,
It's a company that's not just trying to make a profit, they're trying to change the world.
well said. Okay, that brings us to the end of our Tesla Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and we'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive, where we'll explore another fascinating topic and help you uncover the hidden gems of knowledge.
See you next time.